Getting a raise and still watching your credit card balance climb while your savings stays flat is the normal result of ignoring net worth. You treat a bigger paycheck like proof that you are ahead and never calculate what you own minus what you owe. Your spending stretches to match the income. Interest keeps dragging your money backward, and assets do not accumulate. You move into a nicer place, upgrade the car, book travel, and months later, the gap between what you have and what you owe has quietly widened. Net worth is simple math with big consequences. Everything you own that can be turned into cash, minus every obligation that can take cash away. Cash, investments, home equity, a paid-off car, even a small savings account. Those are on the asset side. Credit card balances, student debts, auto loans, personal loans, the remaining mortgage, those are liabilities. The number left after subtraction is the only scoreboard that tells you if your life is building stability or just processing paychecks. Income feeds the game, but net worth tells you the score. The most common mistake is treating income like success. People chase titles, higher salaries, and new benefits, then spend up to that level and call it living well. All that shows up as bigger rent, newer cars, busier calendars, and a lingering set of balances that never go away. The practical cost is obvious. You lock in higher fixed payments, you owe more interest to lenders, and you leave less cash available for opportunities. The correction is boring and effective. Start measuring what you keep. List assets, list debts, and watch whether the line is moving up or down. If your credit cards carry about $3,000, your net worth is that amount lower, no matter how smooth your paycheck feels. That balance is not a background hum, it is a hole in the floor. Treat it like a real subtraction, because that is what it is. This is why net worth beats income as a scoreboard. It punishes sloppy assumptions fast. You can dazzle yourself with a bigger paycheck, but net worth will not let you hide from the car loan you signed or the furniture you financed. It makes you choose. Either the debt shrinks and the assets grow, or you are standing still while telling yourself a story. Here is a real-life split you have probably seen. Two coworkers earn similar money. One leases a nicer car, moves into a building with a glossy lobby, and keeps buying convenience to stay comfortable. The other buys a reliable used car, keeps rent manageable, and funnels savings into a retirement plan and a simple brokerage account. After some time, the first person has a better wardrobe and a long list of monthly payments. The second person has fewer toys and a growing stack of assets. Same job market, opposite trajectories. Calculating net worth is not glamorous, and that is why it works. Open a notes app or a sheet and write down what could be turned into cash without fantasy. Checking, savings, brokerage, retirement accounts, the current realistic sale value of a car, home equity after selling costs. Then list debts with lender names and current balances, credit cards, student loans, auto loans, personal loans, the mortgage. Ignore stuff you will not sell to fund your future, like clothes, gadgets, or furniture. Focus on assets that either generate income, hold value reasonably well, or are liquid. Subtract debts from assets. That result is reality. When you write down a retirement account, do not guess based on last year's peak. Use the actual current balance. If it is about $50,000, that goes under assets, and you keep it there even when the market jumps around next week. Student loans, auto loans, and cards live under liabilities until the balances fall to zero. Not all assets carry the same weight. Cash is flexible and available, which means it can absorb surprise expenses, so you do not reach for a card again. Market investments build over time, with short-term noise you have to ignore so compounding can happen. Home equity grows slowly and can evaporate in a bad market, so it is part of net worth, but not a debit card. A car loses value every year, which means paying extra for a fancier option is a direct hit to your long-term scoreboard. Beginners routinely inflate the asset side. They put their car down at the price they paid, not what a buyer would pay today. They treat electronics like value, even though there is no quick market for last year's gadgets at anywhere near retail. They ignore buy now, pay later plans as real debt because the payments feel small. The cost is simple. You feel freer to spend, you take on more monthly commitments, and then you watch cash leave while telling yourself you're still fine because the list of possessions looks long. Possessions without market value are clutter, not wealth. Correct the inputs, and the plan gets clear. Haircut the value of stuff that is hard to sell or that drops fast. Only log what a real buyer would hand you. Do not count the price tag when you bought it. Count the money you could get if you sold it this week. Update debts using the statements, not memory or hope. The point of this sheet is not to make you feel anything. It is to show leverage. When the assets are real and the debts are all there, prioritization is not mysterious. Lower interest and higher liquidity first, then step down the list. Recalculate your net worth on the same date every month for 3 months and ignore perfection. Only watch the direction. The goal is a slope, not a drama. Consistency beats intensity here because the scoreboard works quietly while daily life keeps moving. Tie this to your next decision by making net worth the referee for your budget. If you are considering a nicer apartment, look at how it will change the next calculation. If you are tempted by a new car, measure the hit to assets and the rise in liabilities before you defend the choice. If you wonder how much to save, aim at a trend line that goes up every month and use that to set the target in your spending plan. A budget is a story about the future. Net worth is how you keep the story honest. Income still matters. It is the only source of new savings for most people. But pumping more money into a leaky system does not produce wealth. It produces larger leaks. Stop training your brain to celebrate the gross number on a pay stub. Start celebrating when debts disappear and when the asset side stacks up. That is progress you can build on because it survives job changes and moods. A raise is not a growth plan. It is an opportunity to widen the gap between what you keep and what you owe. Redirect part of any increase to savings and debt reduction before lifestyle absorbs it. Keep fixed costs steady for as long as you can, especially housing and transportation. The less of your income is spoken for by lenders and landlords, the faster the scoreboard improves. That margin lets you invest, and investing is how the asset side starts compounding without you doing more hours. Do not let market swings trick you into sloppy thinking. Retirement accounts and index funds will jump and drop, and that will move the number on the page. It still counts, but you do not control the market. You control contributions and debt payoff. Judge progress by habits you can repeat. The scoreboard will follow. When it dips, you keep buying assets. When it rises, you do not borrow against it for toys. A lot of people ask whether to count the home at all. Yes, because it is real value, but be conservative. Subtract selling costs and be honest about what a buyer would pay. And remember, home equity is not a short-term emergency fund, and it is not supposed to fund daily living. Treat tapping it as a decision that shrinks your future options, not as free money you unlocked with paperwork. Do not skip this calculation because you fear what you will see. Start where you are and check it on a schedule. Make the number go up by adding to assets and shrinking debts, not by clever accounting. Small repeatable actions win, automatic transfers to cash and investments, automatic extra payments to high-interest debts, and refusing new monthly payments that do not produce long-term value. Momentum builds in both directions, so push it the right way and let time work for you. The shift that matters is this. Stop proving your worth with how much comes in and start proving it with how much stays. The scoreboard is not your job title. It is the cushion you build and the obligations you remove. Track the only number that combines both sides of your life and make your daily choices answer to it. That is how you stop guessing and start steering. Next, we will turn that into a practical spending plan you can actually run using the budget that actually works. 50-30-20.